Hello, welcome to my art lesson. Today we'll be using clay to make a sculpture. So the first 5 minutes will be me demonstrating different techniques to create the sculpture that you can use, and the second 5 minutes will be making the sculpture itself. So first we get our clay and we get our pull wire and we push down to get a large chunk, how much you'd like. It doesn't have to be a big sculpture, it can be a little sculpture. So wrap up the clay so it doesn't dry out. Like this, pull your sleeves up, move the wire, and we'll get our clay and we'll make a ball like this. Try and get it even to a little brick. And then I like to get the wire and cut it up into sections like so. And then we get our sections and roll them. So the first thing we'll do is making coils. So similar to like this, something I prepared earlier. So we'll get the coils. So you make long tubes, and this is called coiling. So coiling can be used to build up structures using the different coils. So a lot of bowls and cups you can use, or like any sculpture that you want. If you want something to be hollow on the inside so it dries faster, use coiling. So got our first string, you can just put that there. And you just got to make sure that the coils are similar thickness, because if they're different thickness, the bowl, instead of going all the way out, it'll kind of go in and out, which can be a cool effect if that's something that you're going for. Yep, so that's coiling. And another technique that we'll be using today is creating a base. So it's pretty much a flat surface that will be the bottom of the sculpture where your thing will sit on and to build up from. So that'll be the starting point. So just get a little bit of clay, roll it up with your hands, and then just press down into what shape you'd like it to be. So I'd like my base to be round, so you can just round it out with your hands. Press down like this, and you get your wire and you just make sure it's flat to the ground and then pull it up like this, and then it comes off like that. And then when you're ready, you can use the coils, but we'll get back to that later. So that's making your base. And then another technique is the pinch and pull method. So get another bit of clay, make a little ball, roll it up, and then you just use your thumb to just slowly pinch the edges out, like so. Like that. A little pinch bowl. Doesn't have to be perfect, it depends on what you like. If you want it like nice and like that, you can do that. Or if you want it smoother, you can use one of our tools. You can use a little scraper here and use it to smooth out the edges like so. Or if that's too flexible, get a little harder wooden tool and just smooth it out to get rid of the thumbprints like that. Here we go. Scrape this off. And then another technique that we'll be using with the coil method is scratching. So to get the coils to attach to each other, so we'll just use things that we've made. So here's the base, here's our first coil, and first we're going to get our tool, this, and we're just going to scratch where we want the other clay to stick to. Scratch, scratch, scratch around the edges, like so. Like so. So you're just making little scratches, and you're also going to make little scratches on the clay, like so. Okay. And then you can get it, and then we're just going to press down on the base, like so. And then this one's actually a bit long, so I'm just going to use this little tool to cut it off, and then smooth it out with my hands. And there we go, it's our first layer. That's scratching. So now, let's try and make our sculpture. So the lesson for this, we're making story ceramics. So from our lesson plan, a community of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have, they found these historical relics that had these beautiful bowls, and around the bowls was like a form of art, and it's told a story around the bowl. So different symbols and different things meant different important things in their lives, and they could use it during a ceremony. So we're going to try and have a go at that and making a sculpture. It doesn't have to be a bowl, it can be anything that you feel like you have a connection to and tells a part of your story. So I'm going to be using my base and my coil technique to make a little sculpture, and then something that's personal to me. So okay. Use my scratching, use my little scratchy tool again. Scratch, scratch, scratch. Now, I think in my story, I grew up on the river, and I love the Murray River. I feel really close to the ocean, so I think I would like my bowl to sort of encompass that a little bit, whether that's maybe making the edges kind of windy like the river, so maybe no straight edges. And also I like the idea of things being imperfect. I don't think anything that has to be perfect, so I think doing that would be good. So using the scratching method to build up my sculpture, and then also using a little tool to smooth it out if I'd like to. But I also kind of like having the fingerprints, because it does, I think there's a nice texture and a nice look to something that looks a bit handmade. So it feels a bit more personal. Okay, so now I've done my bowl. Now I'm going to add some little, so I've done my bowl, so now I'm going to add some little symbols or textures to tell a bit of my story, or something that I feel connected to. So yeah. So here, you can see, I've made a few indents. So this is the river, and then the sun a little here, and then when it's dry, I can paint it, and then that'll be my story sculpture. So yeah, hope you enjoy.